Hi everyone, Lauren Nicole here, and I am so excited to share with you guys a new segment on my channel that I am titling Faith and Fashion. So for a lot of you guys, you know that I was mainly focused on spoken word on this channel. I love spoken word very, very much, sharing just the wisdom and the knowledge that God has shared with me, with you guys through the art of spoken word. But what many of you may not know is that I love fashion and makeup. I love putting together clothes and just thinking about what jewelry pieces would look good with this, what bag to pair with it, what shoes. And then when it all comes together, it's just like, it's just a magical, beautiful, just amazing feeling. And so, but also same thing for makeup. It took me a while to really figure out how to do my makeup right and how to actually not look crazy, you know, because we all been through those seasons where it's like, who's gonna tell her? I had that season, and I bugged the Ulta and Sephora employees to just ask them so many questions about just how to apply makeup and how to just make it look effortless and very natural. And so when I think about just instructing other people or helping other people to learn how to do the same, it brings me joy. So my friends, shout out to all of you guys who encouraged me to finally make this video. They all were like, Lauren, you should make a video and talk to people about what you know. You have so much insight and knowledge and it'll just be super fun. But how many of you guys know that fear can be really, really, really loud? I know that for sure, which is why it took me so long to finally make this video. But I am here to say that with Jesus' help, I won, because here is the video titled Faith and Fashion, and I am really excited to start bringing you guys into this world of mine so I can share all the information that I have about faith, fashion, makeup, and just everything that it entails. So let's go ahead and get started with this tutorial. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a really basic makeup look because I want to do something that's good for all starter types, so beginner, expert, whatever, all age groups, just really just something that's easy to follow. I really bug those Ulta and Sephora employees. If you happen to watch this and you work at Ulta and Sephora, thank you guys for your service, because I know that you guys get questions every single day, but I am one of those people that benefited from that kind hospitality. So if you work at one of those makeup stores or another makeup store, thank you for just being kind enough to answer people's questions, because it definitely pays off. So today I'm just going to do a get ready with me video, and we're going to talk about just the process of doing makeup and whatever else comes to my mind, because that's what we're gonna do. So typically when I start my makeup, I like to start with a primer. Well, actually, okay, let's rewind that. We typically, who is we? But generally people, but I like to start with skincare. So when you wash your face in the morning, whether it's a water-based cleanser, gel-based cleanser, whatever it is, when you wash your face, make sure you follow it up with some type of moisturizer. Now, I typically will add in like a toner or a serum based off of certain problem areas. So like for me, like hyperpigmentation, like dark spots, things like that. But for you, if it's other things, you can find serums and things that you can use to assist you with those struggles you may be having with your skin. But that can be for another video too. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know and I will give you some tips. But after you do your skincare, so again, that could be the cleanser, a serum, a moisturizer, sunscreen. I was not wearing sunscreen for the longest time, but I actually started wearing it now, and yeah, please wear sunscreen. I know if you have darker complexion, one of the biggest struggles is finding one that doesn't leave a white cast. And I actually found one. It's by Haru Haru, and it's basically a black rice sunscreen. So if you are interested in learning more about that, drop a comment below. But after you do all of that, now this is where we get to our primer. So there's different type of primers that you can use, but the purpose of a primer is to prep your face, because even though you have like the moisturizer and stuff like that, there's primers that focus on other things. So like this one by Neutrogena, it focuses on mattifying your face for shine control. I have a very shiny forehead and T-zone, like all of that. So I like to use a mattifying primer just to get down that oiliness, to make sure that I'm not up here looking like a grease ball, you know. This is by Neutrogena Mattifying Primer Shine Control. So I normally put some on my finger and I just rub it into my face. You just gonna rub it in. Do not forget your neck. I'm gonna say that a lot during this video because it is important to make sure everything that you do for your face, you apply to your neck as well, because you don't want your makeup to look like it stops at your chin. So rub that in. Okay. So normally primers would say, let it sit for a second so it can activate. You don't want to just throw your makeup on right afterwards because you want it to settle into your skin. So what I typically do is I'll start on my eyebrows and start with my gel so that that can go ahead and start drying while the primer is doing what it does. So what I use for my eyebrows is Kosas. And this is what it looks like. Kosas eyebrow gel. And basically, I learned this from someone else actually on YouTube, and it was genius. I normally brush my eyebrows up first, and then I brush them back. And I actually love doing that now because what it does is it makes sure that your eyebrows are laid down in both directions. So I normally do that. And after I do one, I normally take like a Q-tip and I just outline my eyebrows because I want to make sure that it doesn't start flaking later when it dries. I learned that the hard way. I was like, why are my eyebrows flaking? So then we're gonna do the other side. So again, you're going to scrape up. And then you're gonna bring it back down. Now, one key thing with eyebrows is either getting them threaded or shaving them with a razor, because that's how you get the arch the way that you want it to. Now, if you do not like the feeling of threading, because it's an acquired taste, that it hurts. It definitely hurts. But you know, beauty has pain sometimes. But if you do not want to go through that, you can just do a razor. So, and with the razor, you would just go under your eyebrows and shave around just to bring that arch, along with getting scissors and cutting the hairs and everything. So I need to fix up mine a little bit. It looks decent, I think, for right now, but I do need to do it again here soon. So then again, I'm going to take my Q-tip, other side, and I'm going to outline it just to get that extra stuff off from around my eyebrow. Okay, so now it's probably been a minute, so now the primer is good to go. So what we are going to do now, there are two different things that you can do, honestly. I normally go in with my foundation first, but if you have pretty dark spots, you can go in with a concealer first. So with your concealer, I use Haus Labs. So typically I will use one that's skin color, close to my skin color, and I will go in wherever I have dark marks. But for the most part, my dark marks can be covered by my foundation, so I don't need to do the concealer first until after. But if that's not the case for you, then you would just take your concealer, find those dark marks and dot them on, blend them in a little bit, then put in the foundation. But for this, we are just gonna do this. Now, what I like to do when it comes to my foundation is I like to actually squeeze it on this stainless steel square. I think it's actually an art palette, honestly, but I use it for my makeup. So this is what it looks like. You can literally put it on your finger. And I used to squeeze it on my face. I would drop it on my clothes and have to change and it was too much. So I would actually just squeeze it on this. Now the foundation I am using is Haus Labs and it is Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. So this is what it looks like. And normally just take one squirt. Now this is where brush, sponge, whatever application comes in at. So you have multiple different ways that you can spread foundation. One can be a foundation brush. This is one from Real Techniques. Real Techniques is really a good brand, honestly. So if you're looking for a good starter pack for makeup brushes, this would be good to go. So this is a foundation brush. It's pretty dense. Let me put this down before I drop it on my clothes. It's pretty dense. And basically you can spread it over your face, but it will absorb some of the product because it is a brush. The other option is something like a makeup sponge. Now, I've been using this, so that's why it's kind of dirty, but you can put it on your face and then dot it, but this will definitely absorb some of your makeup. Now, the one thing that I have found that absorbs little to nothing, if anything, is this silicone little pad. And basically it's spongy and you can just pat it on your face. So this actually has been my go-to for the most part whenever I want to take my time doing my makeup and pat it into my face, because it does not absorb anything. Like, it's honestly great. And I got this from Amazon. So, but when I'm in a rush and I want to just do something quick, I will just use the foundation brush and just call it a day. So I may have to do more squirts, but it's okay. So you're going to take your brush, dip it onto the palette. I should have tied my hair back. And you're going to just put it on your face. Now, you guys, it is so important that you remember to blend to your neck. Because if you stop here, it will show that you stopped there. So literally you want to go even here down to your neck to blend it in to your skin. So if you remember nothing else from this video, blend to your neck. So we're just gonna rub that in. And as you can see the difference between this side and this side. This side and this side. So keep going here. And then we're gonna go on the other side. Blend, blend, blend. And honestly, this brush is so soft. But the foundation is the most important base out of anything that you will put on. So all of that covered that, but like I said, it is absorbing some, so we're gonna put another squirt on our thing and keep going. Now, time to bring in Jesus into this, because you know, I found a simile or a metaphor for this foundation. Foundation is the most important part of your makeup, because if you do not have a proper base, everything else for your makeup will not look right. It will not. Like, if it's cakey, your whole makeup look will look cakey. If your skin is dry before, everything will look dry. So one could say that Jesus is like the foundation in our makeup, because if you are not built on the right things in life, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how much possessions you have. It doesn't matter what house you live in. It really does not matter. If you do not have Jesus in your life and you declare him as your Lord and Savior and you truly serve him and are obedient to him, like everything else loses its meaning. Like the colors are darker, the sky is grayer, like it's just not a fun life to live without Jesus, honestly. And so when I do my foundation, I don't know, that's just something I think about all the time, because just in addition to Jesus being the right foundation for everything to just go right in life, also he covers our dark spots, okay? Like, so let's say the dark spots are like sin, right? And Jesus, as the foundation, he's literally covering our dark spots. Like he's covering any imperfections we may have. And I just think that thinking about makeup in that way, it's hard not to just feel gratitude for him doing what he did on the cross. Because as you can see, just like with this foundation, it covered everything. Just like Jesus's blood, when he died for our sins, he covered everything, every mistake that we would have made, every struggle we will deal with. That's why the enemy fights so hard when it comes to keeping us from reading our word, from spending time with him, from really pushing ourselves to go past fear. That's why he does that, because he knows that Jesus already defeated it all. He already defeated it all, because with Jesus, with one swipe, it's done. It is done. It is done. So I just think it's beautiful. So that's one little note that I like to tell people about foundation, because it really does remind me of Jesus. Because look at that. Look at that. It just, he is the best foundation that we can ever have. Forget Haas Labs. Forget all the other stuff I'm about to show you guys. Like, Jesus is literally the best foundation that we can ever build our life on. So, all right. So now we have our foundation. And as you can see, we have our base. So what I typically like to do after that are my eyebrows. So what I like to use is also by Kosas, and it is a eyebrow pencil. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. I literally lose stuff all the time. Okay, so I normally just like to comb it out just a little bit, just in case it moved, but it didn't move, so it's all good. Now, Kosas Brow Pop Nano Pencil. So what I like to do is just fill in any sparse areas in my eyebrows. So I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to fill in here. But what I normally like to do is outline first. So we'll do the tail first. And don't worry about getting it perfect, because literally we can clean it up. I apologize in advance for how many times I say literally. I'm pretty sure if I took a tally, it's a lot, because yeah, I don't know when I started doing that, but yeah, so we're just gonna fill it in with, notice I'm doing these little strokes. I am not coloring. We do not want block eyebrows in here, okay? So we are just going to draw those little hair-like strokes in there. And remember to blend up with it. That's just gonna smudge it so it looks natural-like. And again, don't worry about making it perfect, because we're gonna go back in with the foundation and outline it to make sure it's all crisp and stuff. Now, everybody does their eyebrows differently. Some people make their tails longer, some people, but it's really based off of your face type and what you feel comfortable with. So keep that in mind with makeup. Even though you see things that other people do, you do what fits your face the best. And really, it's just by trial and error too. Okay, so now we're gonna do this side. And we're going to outline. And then we're gonna brush. And I typically like to make the tips of my tails darker because, especially in photos, if you make it super light, it will look like you don't have any eyebrows on the edge. And it's just like, wait, I have eyebrows. I promise I have eyebrows. So just gonna blend that out. And oh, okay. Now, this is a really good reminder that I would say to my sister all the time when I used to shave her eyebrows for her. I would say eyebrows are sisters, not twins. And that is a real statement, because if you try to spend all your time trying to make them look identical, you can't, because they weren't made the same. Oh, that is a whole nother sermon. Okay, pause. So when it comes to the comparison trap that we all fall into it. We look at someone else and then we try to be like them, and then we get discouraged when we can't do what they do, or we're not as quote unquote successful as they are in something that they're doing. We are not them. We were made differently. All of us have our own gifts and abilities that God has given to us to show other people. If someone expected me to go and fix a telephone wire, I don't know why that just came to my head, but that's what we're gonna go with. If someone came to me and said, hey, I need you to fix this telephone wire, get all the cords and wires in place and all of that, I would fail. No matter how excited I am, if I were to go out there right now and do it, I would fail, because that is not what I was called to do. But if someone was to say, hey, Lauren, I need you to go and talk to people about fashion and makeup and just look happy and excited, I can do that because it comes from a source that was given to me. So now, of course, you can study for things. Of course, we're supposed to study and show ourselves approved. But my point is, if you're trying to force yourself to be something that you're not, that will explain why you're not getting the results that you want to, because it's like, we're all made differently. And be proud of your gifts. Be proud of just the way that God has blessed you with certain things that he wants you to share with the world. Because he's like, there's a person out there that's going to look at you doing that. And because of you doing that, and because you're representing me, you're going to bring them to me in a unique way. And so that's why I decided to do faith and fashion with my YouTube channel too, because I'm like, maybe someone will be drawn to this just from the makeup stuff. And next thing you know, they're learning about Jesus and their whole life changes, all because of a makeup and fashion video. So just a good reminder. Don't try to be like anybody. You are good enough. You are good enough, just as you are. And as God continues to mold you and shape you into who he originally created you to be, you're going to be a very powerful person. There was this quote I read one time where it said, maybe life isn't about becoming anything, but it's about unlearning and unbecoming everything we weren't meant to be in the first place. Because if you think about it, over time, as we grow in life, we end up taking on things that we were never meant to take on, whether it's anxiety, whether it's fear, whether it's so many different things. And I feel like as we grow, God is trying to get us back to that childlike state, because children are not scared of anything. They will go and jump off a cliff if you let them, because it looks fun. So, but for us, it's like we're scared to even sing out loud in the supermarket. And I'm talking to myself here because, yeah. But my point is that, he normally ends up allowing us to, and helping us to unlearn things so that we can get back to the way he originally intended for us to be, which is just free, which is just unapologetically ourselves in his presence. So however he leads you to show up in the world, however he leads you to show your light and be the salt of the earth, own it and go with it. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter if you think it's spiritual enough, because I know with makeup, I was like, Lord, who would care how to do makeup? But then he started having everybody come to me and say, hey, how do you do a simple makeup look? Hey, what type of simple steps do you have in order to do a fast look? What type of brushes do you need to use? Just so many different questions, even before I even realized that I wanted to do makeup. I had someone that even asked me what was my eyebrow process, and I don't even think I was on YouTube yet. So God has a funny way of getting you to your purpose when you don't even know what it is. So All right, so I feel like I was filling in my eyebrow for the longest time. But anyway, so I say so a lot too. Goodness, literally so. Anyway, all right, so we have our eyebrows done. If you find that you made mistakes on the outside or you want it to be a little bit more snatched or crisp, you can take a flat brush like this, and outline your eyebrow. So you're just gonna take whatever's left and outline your eyebrow. Now, I know some people use a concealer that's lighter for this part. I don't, I just use the same foundation that I use for that. So you're just going to gently outline it and make it so that it's a lot more sharp on the ends. And then you're just gonna blend it out like so. And then if you still notice that you want it to be a little bit more defined, you can go back in and just lightly get that out a bit. So then we're gonna do it for the other side. Then the bottom. Honestly, makeup is so relaxing. It's like, it just, I don't know. At least for me it is. When I think of makeup, I think of something that I've worked so hard at to try to understand. Like, I'm talking about months, you guys. I was going back to the stores, asking questions, trying to figure out the right shades, the right brushes. Like, I did my homework, okay? I asked all the questions people were probably too scared to ask. Okay, I'm gonna blend it out. And then if you're still not sure if it's blended all the way, you can take your brush and just pat it in on the outside. Okay. So now we have this done. Okay, so now let's continue. So typically this is a stage where I would start doing my eyeshadow, but I'm not gonna do that today because today is just a simple look, no eyeshadow. We'll save the eyeshadow for another video. So I'm going to instead work on my concealer. Now there's different ways you can do this. Concealer is made to basically brighten your under eye. So if you have dark circles, if you have hyperpigmentation, anything, that's what that's for. So there's two different ways you can do this. You can use one that's the same color, or you can use one that's a little bit lighter. I do both. So I'm going to take the light one, put it right under here. And then I'm going to take the darker one, that's skin color, and do it on the edge. Now, why do I do that? Because as you blend, this is a great way of making sure that you blend everything correctly, because if you do the lighter one on the outside and you don't blend it all the way, then you'll end up having like a light spot over there. Now you still can, but if you're concerned about not blending it all the way, just do light in the middle, skin tone on the outside. So I normally like to let this sit just for a little bit so that it'll kind of thicken up, so that when it's time to blend it, it'll cover more. But while I do that, I like to go in with my favorite step of the makeup look, which is a bronzer and a blush. Now, let's talk about the difference between bronzers and contours. Get ready for a lesson. All right. Contours are cool toned. Bronzers are warm toned. I'm gonna show you and give you an example. Now, don't look at the shade of this too much because I normally use this lighter. So even though it looks super dark, when I apply it, I just lightly apply it. But you see how this is a cooler tone brown and this one is a warmer tone brown. So contour, concealer, I'm sorry, contour, bronzer. Now, I typically stick with just the bronzer, but if you want to do both, you can. So the contour, you are going to apply to the hollows of your cheek right here. You see where that dark part is, like where it's showing a little bit brown? Those are the hollows of your face. So that is what this is mimicking. It basically creates definition for your face. Bronzer comes in at where it brings the warmth back, because this basically takes away warmth a bit because it's cool tone. This adds it back. I have gotten to the habit of just sticking with the warm because I like how it looks. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna stick with the bronzer. So to apply my bronzer, I have, let's see if I can find. Now, everyone who does makeup, they have their go-to, I guess, sticks that they like to use. Because out of all the brushes in the world, it's like, you know that one's gonna come through for you. So you're just like, yeah, there may be other brushes out there, but it's like you go back to those because you know it's tried and true. And again, I see it as just like the tried and true-ness of Jesus. It's like you can go and try to find something that's better. You may think it's better temporarily, but then you find out it's actually not. It's not, because nothing gets better than him. Nothing. Whether it's you need a healing, whether it's just for understanding of his word, whether it's just to get back the joy of life, he has a way of just providing exceedingly and abundantly above all you may ask or think. And when he does, it's like you just feel so seen. It's like, God, you just get me. And why does he get us? Because he created us. So it's like, it makes sense. So why would we go somewhere else to go and get filled and motivated and strengthened and healed and all these things when the very person who created us is like, hey, I'm here. Like, I want what's best for you. I want to give you the life that I know that you need. But instead, he sits there and watch us go to all these different things. Why? Because he loves us, because love does not force. Love is a choice. It is free will. So instead of forcing us to follow him, even though out of everybody in the world, he has the right to do so, instead of forcing us to follow him, he's like, no, I'm gonna go and allow them to come to me when they feel ready. And even though it breaks his heart where he's like, man, my child keeps going off in this way. Man, my child is hurting. Man, she or he is just going through it right now. Instead of being like, you're gonna follow me because I know what's best for you. He's like, they're gonna come, but they have to come on their own time. And I just think the grace and the mercy and the patience and just the love of God to sit there and watch us not choose him over and over again. And still, when we're ready to come to him, he's like, I've been waiting. I'm here with open arms. So, tried and true. He does what he says he will do, and he is who he says that he is. So, that's the favorite brush for you. So, all right. So, this is what I like to use for my bronzer. This is a Real Technique brush, 206. Oh, I didn't mention for the foundation, it was 213. All right. So, while this is still going, I like to take my bronzer. Now, this is a stick. There are so many different types of bronzers. There's this one, which is a stick. There is, oops, I need to calm down a bit, getting excited. There is a palette like this that you can like dip in. There's so many different things. But what I've really enjoyed using is just the stick. So instead of drawing it on, you can do two things. You can draw it and then go up. But what I like to do is take my brush, dab it on, and then literally just apply it to my cheeks. So do you see that? How I'm literally just putting it onto where my cheeks are. Because what it's doing is it's defining your cheekbones. It's making it where it stands. See, you see this side, and then you see this side. So it's trying not to say literally, but I don't think I have a choice at this point. You're just going to pat it in like that. Now, some people will also do it down here lightly, just to define their chin, their jawline. So you can just lightly just brush it on there. And then you'll do the same thing over here and just dab it on, dab it on. Now it's really important that you know your face shape. So for me, I have a longer face. So it's like, I'm not gonna go and do it under my cheekbone. Some people will go and do it under their cheekbone. I don't go and do it here because then it's gonna draw my face down. So because I have a longer face and my cheekbones sit high, I do it kind of on top of my cheekbones. So just gonna blend that in. Okay, do a little bit more there. All right, so once you have that on your face, I love bronzer so much. Okay, and then you're gonna do down here as well, just a light little bit. Blend, 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 blend. Okay, so I normally like to go back in with my brush and just kind of sharpen that line a bit, just to make it a bit more defined there. And then same with over here. Okay, so now by this point, your foundation should have already, not foundation, contour should have already dried a little bit. Now there's different ways that you can blend this too. This is a jelly one by Revlon. And basically you can blend it out with this and it doesn't absorb anything. Then you can also use just a regular brush like this and just pat it in. So it's really up to you. This one doesn't, I cannot speak. This one does not absorb anything because it's literally silicone. This one does. Also, you can use a good old sponge. Damp your sponge with some water or whatever, or setting spray, and dab it in, but it will absorb as well. And then you could always go in with a silicone pad. But for today, I'm going to use the brush. So you're gonna take it and you're just going to dab it out. And then you're going to do the same on the outside. Now, why did I do this over the bronzer? I'm glad you asked. Because it basically provides a really general transition onto your face. So you see how it's kind of blending into that bronzer right there? That's what we're going for, a really general transition. And then same on this side. And then doing it on the outside. And this is also going to lift your face as well. That's why I go up with it, not over, I go up, because it lifts your face up as well. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that contour right there, and you can see it right here. And then if you want to, you can still take your, where you did, and just like lightly, if you still wanted a little bit, brush it on the sides. But basically, there you go. So my second favorite behind the bronzer are blushes. So the different type of blushes that I have, you can do a stick, you can do a liquid blush. Oh my goodness, this is a good liquid blush, Rare Beauty. Very pigmented, so you have to be very careful. But you can do a liquid blush and basically pat it on. Another one of my favorites, I think it is by, oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Saie Beauty. I love, love, love this one. Love this one. So, but for today, since we're doing a really basic one, I'm just going to do, I guess I'll just do the stick one. And by the way, these two are by Well People. Well People Supernatural Stick Bronzer, and then Well People Supernatural Stick Multi-Use Blush. So, same thing with the blush. We're going to take a brush and dab it onto this and then apply it to your cheeks. So let's see. I'm going to use, I guess I'll use this one. No, I'm gonna use this one. Okay. So this is Real Technique 204. I'm gonna take it, dab a little bit on, and then what you can do is literally just dab it. You see that color starting to come in there? Is basically bringing a little bit of color to your face, just a little bit of flushness, and it blends really well with the bronzer as well. So then we'll do a little bit more on this side. A little bit more. Now, when it comes to blush, you can apply it however you want to. Some people go over their nose, under. Some people do it here, on their eyelids, everything. Is based off of your face shape too. So again, mine is more long, so I normally just do it on my cheekbones, on the sides. But sometimes I also go along here because it automatically makes your face look a little bit wider. But okay, so now you can start to see that definition coming in, you see? You can see my cheekbones kind of popping there. Yeah, and yeah. So now we are going to apply our eyeliner. So I like to use Win Beauty and apply the eyeliner on the top of my eyes. Now, oh, that scared me. Okay, all right. I was about to say, did it get on my shirt? Okay, so the way that you apply eyeliner, now this is not a necessity. If you aren't comfortable with this, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because it makes your eyes pop a bit more. So what I typically do is I'll take a smaller mirror, something like this, and draw on the outside of my eye. Actually, I don't want to use this mirror. I'm gonna use one of the regular mirrors because that one's a magnified mirror, so it can be kind of weird on the eyes. So just like a regular mirror, and you're gonna outline your eye. If you want to do a cat eye, you can. I'm not the best at those, but I do them sometimes, but today I'm not going to, just a regular outline. So you are going to draw from the tip of your eye all the way to here. Now it does not need to be thick because since it's already black or brown, it's going to stand out anyway. So all you need is just a thin outside line. So we'll do that really quick. Sorry if I guess I'll do it this way. Yeah, even though you can't really see, but this is like where every girl holds their breath, because especially if you already did your eyeshadow, like thankfully if I mess up, I can just take a Q-tip and clean it up. But if I already did my eyeshadow and I'm up here trying to rush and I made it too thick, or my hand slipped, that's like the worst feeling, because then you have to try to get it off without messing up your eyeshadow. So this is definitely an art, not a science. Okay, so do you see the difference between this and this? Like, even from afar, my eyes, like, it pops more just with that line alone. So that's why I like doing eyeliner, because it automatically makes your eye pop a little bit more. So I'm right-handed, so we're just gonna have to, yeah. Okay. The amount of times I've gotten this in my eye And then it looks like you're crying black tears. Pretty scary. So I normally like to go over it twice to make sure that it's the width that I want it and that it's dark enough. Okay, so now we're done. You see, it definitely makes it be like, so, all right. Now we have our bronzer, we have our blush, we have our eyebrows done, we have our foundation, we have our eyeliner. Now it's time for the under eye of the eyes. Okay, so when we're talking about the under eye, we use something called a eyeliner. Also, well, people, and what you're going to do is outline under your eye. So, going to blot this down one more time. Sometimes you get creases under your eye, so you can just blot them out with the brush, or sometimes you can use a tissue too to blot it out. I don't have a tissue near me, but sometimes I'll do that too. Okay, so you have your water line down here. You don't want to do it in your eye, just where your eyelashes are. So again, I like to take I don't know where I put, oh, there it is. It's crazy how many times I lose things and it's sitting right there in front of me, so. That's a sermon too. Okay, so many sermons in this video. How many times have we literally been like, God, where are you? And he's like, I'm in the last place you left me at. Like, for example, God may say, hey, I want you to do this. And then you're like, ooh, nope, I'm gonna stop reading the Bible. I'm gonna stop going to church. I'm gonna stop doing all this stuff. And then you're like, God, where are you? It feels like you're so far. And he's like, I'm where you last left me. So it's really interesting. Just, because God's not going to force himself on us. It's like he'll sit right there and be like, I'm here, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready to really experience joy, really experience peace, really experience just contentment, he's like, I got you. But I'm not going to go and throw myself at you either. Just like this eyebrow pencil, it wasn't going to throw itself at me and be like, here I am. Instead, it's sitting there and it's like, I'm in clear sight. Just like how the Bible says, seek and you shall find. Knock on the door will be open unto you. Like, he's like, if you look for me, I'm right there. You just gotta be willing to find me and be okay with what I say when you find me. So, isn't it crazy how there's so many sermons you can get just out of doing your makeup? I promise you guys, all of you who have listened to this video, you're never gonna look at makeup the same after this. Okay, so you're gonna take your eyebrow pencil and you are going to line where your eyelashes are. Try to stay away from your waterline because you don't want to irritate your eyes or anything. Especially for my contact wearers, such as myself, I wear contacts and trust me, you do not want any irritated eyes. Okay, so you see the difference there between this and this? It just brings it together, see? So we're gonna do the same for, oh, and if you ever overline your eyes, you can just take a Q-tip and just go under it. So Q-tips, I have like a whole dispenser over here for it because I use it all the time for my makeup. Okay, so there we go. So now, after you've done that, we are going to do our mascara. Now, there are so many different mascaras. there's waterproof, there's non-waterproof, there's brown, there's black, whatever fits best for you. I like to use black because it makes my eyes pop. It goes with the rest of my makeup. But brown is also cool too when you want a very minimalist look. So, but today we're going to use black. So one of them is Rimmel London Kind and Free. You can get this from Amazon. So super, super cheap. This is what it looks like. Another one is Maybelline Green Edition Mega Mousse Mascara. Also, you can get from Amazon. And then lastly, now I've used this one, like you guys can see it's literally like all broken and falling apart and stuff. But this is my waterproof one, and this is Milk Rise Mascara Waterproof. And you can get this from Sephora. So, but today I am going to use, let's see, I'm going to use the Green Edition. I really like this one, but whenever I need waterproof, I use this one. I use the waterproof for church because how many of you guys know that when the Spirit hits you in church, it's a done deal. It doesn't matter if you have your makeup done. It doesn't matter any of that. Yeah, so honestly, every Sunday I wear this one because all it takes is for that one tear. What's the song that always gets me? See, it's because I'm thinking about it. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, there's so many songs where it's just like hits. And then as soon as you hear that melody, it's just like the one tear starts falling. And then it's like, oh, there goes the makeup. But it's worth it. So let me tell you guys, even though we're spending all this time on our makeup, even if you do it for church, do not allow it to keep you from getting in the presence of God. Because even though makeup is pretty and is fun, it's not worth keeping you from really getting what you need to get when you go to church and when you're at home and you're spending time with God. If you have to reapply your makeup, whether it's keeping a sponge in your bag to touch up, you can do that. But one thing that I know that is true is it is better to mess up your makeup than to miss out on a blessing just because you don't want to look crazy. Look, we all have raccoon eyes after church sometimes. Well, me, not as much because I use the waterproof now, but I learned the hard way because it was all smudgy and all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, I need to get some waterproof. But anyway, even if you don't have waterproof, it does not matter because God does not care how we look. He's just happy that we're coming before him and we're giving our all to him. So keep that as a reminder. All the stuff that we're doing with our makeup, do not allow it to keep you from being vulnerable, honest, open, transparent with God. So anyway, back to the makeup. This is what we're going to use today. Maybelline Green Edition Mega Mousse Mascara. Now, the way you want to do this is, I'm going to keep using this mirror because it just works. You're going to drag down at the top so it coats the top. And then you're going to look up and drag up. Now, it's funny because the faces we make when we do this is funny because I normally keep my mouth open and I don't even realize it, and I'm like that. But whatever you got to do to keep it from getting in your eye. But I normally hold the mirror down and look and then apply it up. Now, some people curl their lashes. I don't, but you can if you want to keep them curled. Some people, their eyelashes are more straight, so they need to curl it. But I normally, like, this is even curled, so it's fine. It was kind of clumpy there, but something to remember, your outcome will be based on the wand. You see how this one is straight? This one is more of a straighter one versus this one is more of a curve. So it's like this one will cause a natural bend as you go, whereas this one will probably not. You'll have to do more work to get that curve. So keep that in mind as you're doing that. The wand, it matters in terms of the finished product of your eyelashes. Okay, so we're just gonna keep applying in an upward motion. Until you have it to where you want to go. Now, the way I know that I'm done is just when it's curved the way that I want to curve it and when it's dark enough. And so that's what we have there. Now, if it's stuck together and yours start clumping together, you can get, I don't know where it is. I don't have it on me at the moment, but I have like a kind of like comb type thing that you can use where it'll comb out your eyebrows if it gets clumpy, but I don't know where it is. But you can literally get it from the store and just comb it out. So yeah, so now we're gonna do the other side. And do it on this side. So we're gonna go down and then up. So let me do it where y'all can see here. So down, and then we're gonna go up. Okay. And so as it dries, it'll start clumping up more, which is what you want. So you don't have to rush this part. Just take your time, allow it to naturally adhere. Now, the amount of times I have poked myself in the eyeball with this, I can't even tell you. It'll make you slow down real quick. All it takes is just, okay. Now, if you get it on your eyelid, take that Q-tip and just wipe it off. Sometimes you can put some water on it if you need to. Okay, so just like how eyebrows are not twins, they're sisters, same with your eyelashes. They're not twins, they're sisters, so you don't have to try to get them to look the same. Okay, so now we have, I think I like it. That's another thing with makeup too. Don't try to be perfect with it because it's impossible. Like, you get it to a place where you like it and call it a day. Because perfectionism is real. Trust me, I know. But just know that there's a point in time where you're just like, you know what, this is good enough. I like it. So now we see the look coming together. So just to reiterate, we have our foundation, concealer, bronzer, and you can see those cheekbones popping. See? Blush, eyebrows, eyeliner, liquid eyeliner on the top, mascara, pencil eyeliner on the bottom. Now we're just gonna go back through and just get out any creases we may see. Because I don't know about other people, but I feel like that's one thing for me that happens a lot. It's just like those natural creases, because it's not your skin, so it's not going to look completely perfect, you know what I mean? And I almost forgot, you have to do the bottom. So you're just going to lightly do the bottom. Now, if you have a problem with getting it on your skin, they have these things that you can slide under your eyelash and put it on top. I'm fine without it now, but when I first started out, I would use it. But just with the bottom, just lightly coat your eyelashes, because you're just trying to get a little bit of product down there so it matches the top. See? Let me do this side. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have basically finished all of the liquid stuff. So generally when you do your makeup, you want to do all your liquid first and then you go over it with powder, because it seals it all in. It holds it together. So what we do before we do the powder is we use a setting spray, Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. So now I don't want to look dewy today because I'm naturally shiny, but this is good if you want like a good, like affordable one. I think this is $10. You can get it from Ulta, Target, but the one I'm going to use today is Tier Mask Fit Makeup Fixer. You can get this from Amazon. This is what it looks like here. Okay. So when you do your stuff, you're going to spray your face down, because you are wanting to dry it, seal it in place, and then go in with the powder. So you're going to put my hair back and I normally hold my breath because I don't want to get the spray in my mouth. So I normally use a fan to dry it quickly. You don't have to, you can just let it air dry, but I'm normally running late to places, so I've learned to just use a fan. Okay, so now we have our stuff done, and as we can see, it basically just, well, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it seals it all in. So now what we are going to do is go in with the same stuff we did liquid, but do it with the powder as well. Why? Because it allows for us to basically make sure it stays defined. So for the bronzer, I'll take a fluffy brush, and this is Well People Super Powder Bronzing Powder in the shade Bronze, and I'll take it and I'll just lightly dab it on my face like that. See, just lightly. And then same thing over here as well. So I won't do too much, but just enough to say, hey, I'm here. So, and then I'll do the same thing with a blush. Now, there are so many different powder blushes, like so many that you can play with. So this is one from Rare Beauty. This is what I was using for the mirror, but this is one here. Nice little peachy color. This is one. Oh, sorry, this was Rare Beauty in the shade Joy. Oh, that's cute, Joy. Pure Nude Baked Blush in Essence in the shade 08 Berry Cheeks. And then there's also this one, which I really do like this one. This is called Butterfly by Benefit, and it's orange. Now I know you're like, why are you wearing an orange blush? Orange blush, when you put it on our skin, like it looks like a highlighter almost. Like it's like, it'll give like a little bit of shimmer on your cheekbone where it's not dark pink, but it's also not super light either. And it just has a really pretty finish. So really it's up to you in terms of which one you want to use. Also, I have a couple more. Let me see. This one is called Moon, also by Benefit. And then I have another one that's, I cannot find it. I think it was called oh, there it is. No, it's not. Terracotta, but I do not know where I put that one. So, but it's basically a lighter pink than this one. So just a little bit lighter. It's more of like a brownish color. But for today, I think I'm going to go in with the, which one should I do? This is probably part of the reason why I'm always late, because it's like I get stuck trying to figure out what shade I want to use. I kind of want to use the terracotta one I was just talking about, but I do not see it anywhere. So I guess I'm not supposed to use it. So I will use something else. We'll just go with the baked blush for this one. So we'll take a fluffy brush, again, something like this, because the reason why we don't use a dense brush is because you're packing it onto your face. You want to lightly glide. So we're gonna take our blush. and we're gonna lightly just glide it. Just add a little bit more color there, see? And over here too. Now you don't have to do blush if you don't want to. So basically it would be this look without the rosiness here if you wanted to. All right, so after we do that, then we're gonna go in with our setting powder. Now the purpose of setting powder is basically to absorb any oil as you continue throughout your day. So I use Veil Translucent Deep Powder. This is what it looks like. And basically I need to have the back. So you're going to take a fluffy brush, a really fluffy brush, like something like this, and get some of the powder. I like to tap it first. And then you're going to do it over your face to blend everything together. But prior to doing that, I always have to catch myself because it's so easy to forget. Prior to doing that, you're going to take a lighter setting powder, and you don't have to do this. This is just what I like to do. But you'll take a lighter thing, and I'll take like a sponge for this one because it's literally a powder. And you're going to tap on this, and then you're going to go under and just apply it like this. And what that's doing is it's just sealing everything in and making the transitions a lot more natural looking, so you don't have those sharp edges. And without the oiliness as well. So you see how it looks a lot naturaler, if that is that a word, naturaler, but so yeah. And then now we're gonna go in with our fluffy brush and blend everything else out. So we'll do the bottom. And notice I'm going in circular motions because we're basically blending out any of those harsh lines. Remember to do neck. Take a little bit more powder, tap the excess off. And we're gonna do our forehead. Okay. And as you can see, it looks so just like it blends, you see? So just gonna keep going on. And what's gonna happen is as you go throughout your day, it's gonna absorb the oiliness. Now, if you're super oily like me, you're still gonna get oily, but just not as oily as you would be without it. So what I like to do sometimes too is just go back in with my eyebrow pencil comb and just make sure that the powder didn't make it less pigmented, which it looks fine there. So now we're done with our powder stuff. And as you can see, this is the finished look. But what I like to do is then take a makeup sponge, spray it with setting spray, and then go in and lightly tap over it. Why do I like to do this? Because it makes the powder set into your skin better so that you don't have a powdery look at the end. So I just pat it, and we lightly pat it so it's not picking up any product really. You're just spreading that setting spray. Okay. And there we go. So you don't need the fan for this unless you just wanted to. You can just leave it like that. And now we are going to do our lips. So there are so many different options that you can do for lips. You can do just a basic lip gloss. You can do a lipstick, you can do lip liner. It's so many different options, really. But today, I think I am going to do a really simple lip that will work for everyone here. So let's see. So all you will need is a clear lip gloss and a pencil. So this is by She, oh, just hit my elbow. This is by SheGlam, and you can get this from Amazon as well. It's called Jelly Wow, and they have all different colors. So I normally like to take this prior to doing my lip liner because I don't want to get the black or the brown of the lip liner on my actual thing. So I'll just put it on. And this is a lip oil actually, but it really doesn't matter what you use for this. You could do lip oil, lip gloss, but if anyone's wondering, there's a lip oil. And I like to take my pencil and outline my lip. So I just outline lightly. And because this is black, I have to do it lightly so that it doesn't look too dark. But if it was brown, I could go a lot darker. And then you see that little dip right there? I'm just going to cross over to keep it sharp. And then I like to go a little bit on the outside here. And then a little bit here. Just to give it more definition and then blend. You see how it gives kind of like it brings all the attention to the middle. It gives like a little pouty look. And then you can draw a little bit more if you need to. And then you can always, like I said, clean it up a bit if you need to as well. All right, so that's a simple look you can do with your lips. All it took was lip liner and then some clear lip gloss. So you don't even have to go to the store really. If you have a lip gloss and a lip liner or eyeliner, there you go. And what I like to do at the end is just take like a Q-tip or something and just go like this. So that I don't have extra product on the inside of my lip because it's so annoying. And there we have it. So what we did today was we did our foundation, we did our concealer, our bronzer, blush, eyebrows, liquid eyeliner, bottom eyeliner, mascara, setting powder, setting spray, lip liner, and lip gloss. So this is the final look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you got some good takeaways away from this tutorial. I challenge you all to try this look at home. It is so effortless and really fun and just liberating to challenge yourself to try something new. So I hope that you felt empowered just by watching this and that you learned something that you can take in your everyday life, whether it's just the lips or whether it's just the eyeliner, whatever it is. I hope that you took one thing away that can help you create the makeup look that you've been wanting to create. Also, I hope that you took some gems away about faith as well, because it is because of him I am able to do all of this anyway, to have the joy, to have the confidence, to even do this video. It literally came from him. So, and even to have the gift to be able to explain and have fun while doing it. So I hope that you learned something about Christ from this as well, and that you feel empowered to just go and work and activate your gifts, because it doesn't matter how big or small in your eyes your gift is, it is impacting somebody, even if they do not say it to you personally. So in addition to trying this look out, I challenge all of you guys to go ahead and start activating your gifts as well, because there's someone out there that truly, truly needs it and wants to see it as well, because there is room for all gifts in the kingdom that point back to Christ. And so I look forward to talking to you guys in the next Faith and Fashion video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.